Hello and welcome to the GRAPPL Weekender. I'm JP.
And I'm Matty, and it's Friday the 14th, JP, not the 13th, so we're safe today. Friday the 14th, not the 13th, so we've got no masks peeking through the window, so we're okay today, mate.
I was a little bit, do you know what it is? It's because I've been watching loads and loads and loads of horror. That's the reason why. It's all. See, I haven't had to do one of these hosting lark things for quite some time, Matty. So it's always a bit scary when Benno's away, isn't it? For the technical balls ups and everything.
Listen, JP. We don't give him, and personally myself, don't give him enough credit for how he seamlessly and effortlessly holds all this together. Do you know what I mean? Like, not a care in the world. He just no sells it. Just that look on his face as if nothing's going on and everything's under control. And that's a feat in itself, mate.
That's it, isn't it? It's like I'm almost incredulous how he does all of that and still is able to lead a conversation. Like, it is the art of podcasting.
He's got some terrible takes. I mean, let's not. He's got some terrible takes, but he says that about me.
The fact he remembers to has the takes.
Yes,
half the battle,
he used to anyway. So yeah. He knows I love him. But hopefully he's all safe and well. He is, isn't he? And his new country. So he's traveling the world. But yeah, new digs.
New country, Cambodia. Hell of a lot cheaper than here. Whether or not it's warm or more humid, because I don't know how it is in sunny Liverpool, mate. It's sweltering here, and it's been sweltering for the last few days. Sweating like honestly, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad, mate, isn't it? But it's going to be lasting in all weekend, JP. Like today, I walked out and the sky was like black clouds in the sky. Thought, we're going to get a bit of rain. Nothing, no. It's still absolutely boiling, literally, as we always say, though. Great washing weather, JP. I'm sure you've done a few wash loads in this. It's the best for all that anger, everything out. Getting all the everything done, like the couch cushions, just a lot, get it all done in this weather.
Yeah. Sofa's been done 3 times. Now I have small children and they trash the place. So it's always like, well, that's the thing that could easily be happening there. So but you have to do it. You have to take advantage of it. We will moan about this when this goes. But it appears to be you're getting like it's either shit or bust at the minute. I can't even walk the dog, who's only a puppy. So I can't even walk the dog until like sort of 9, half 9 in the evening. It's good because I've timed it with watching pre-season football games, which I shouldn't do and are a waste of time unless you're just gambling. That can be the only positive benefit of that. That's it.
You know what? I mean, this should be probably saved for the pre-show on Sunday. But speaking of dogs, JP, I've just we've minded Gary's dog for the last 2 nights, JP. So that's been which is, and you know what? God bless him. He's 10 now. The dog. You do know what the dog's name is, do you?
No.
This is great stuff because this will blow your mind. Gary's dog's name is Zandig. Yes, after John Zandig.
Mate, that is fucking inspired.
No, that's true. So I'm shouting, like, you're outside and you shout, come on,
Is it a mentalist?
Come on, I just go, come on, mate. And that makes me look even worse because I'm saying mate to a dog. I don't know if that's how you talk to dogs.
I say that. I say, come on, mate. Yeah, do that. Yeah, do that stuff as well. But Zandy, it halfway says, I don't want to go out for a walk. Do you mind sticking these hooks in my back, though, and just lifting me up inexplicably for that? I'm assuming that he is the opposite of his namesake.
Oh, JP, yeah, brilliant. Like, typical dog, JP, like when you first see them and they run round and that. But even now, he was brilliant. I had that preconceived notion in my head about dogs that they don't settle. Oh, he was great, JP. He was. I'm sure he was easier to mind for 2 days than the real John Zandig anyway.
God, could you imagine him? You wouldn't trust him on the sofa, would you? Again, you'd be washing that sofa afterwards, wouldn't you? Like the state of him. He's like he would do. He would be stinking up your living room if he just came back after he'd had a heavy session or something. He'd be like, why is John Zandig in my living room? How would you explain like the series of events that got in there?
My mind, yeah, exactly. And my mind goes to like
Alex Higgins around, wouldn't it, or something like that?
Some of the contacts he's had over the years, imagine him having that one phone number, like that one wrestler hasn't changed the phone number in years. And I'd be like, come on, just give him a call. Just call him. I'd be like that in his ear all night.
The fucking abuse to be giving those lads. But yes, it is. It's me and you today.
It is
for the Weekender. So we have the first port of call. We have to remember to always say the Weekender as well. But there's you mentioned it as well. You spoke about the pre-show on Sunday. Yeah. There is going to be nice early doors. We'll get into the plugs.
Yes,
nice for this. But what we got coming up on Sunday, Matthew?
We've got the latest episode of Time, JP. As I say, early start Sunday. We're looking on midday, aren't we? We can announce that so get everyone to get their own work in if they want to follow along. But it's August 1991. And we said it a few times now that the last couple of episodes of Time have been stinkers for the movies and the music, JP. Like some of the worst lists that's ever been known to in existence, really. But we're more than making up for it this time around because the music and the movies, I'm sure we're going to be spending more time talking about them this episode. So can't wait for this one, JP. Always great to have Liam on, of course, putting the list together. Brilliant. So going to be a great stuff, JP. Can't wait for that one, mate.
I'm really looking, particularly for the films. I have to say, some of those films ones, it's like I'm looking at this and it's just an eye into my childhood. And I have to say, because I'll be talking about it on Sunday, but this is about the point in time, like all around this, where I'm deep into my Empire magazine. Yeah. It's like every single month religiously for that one as well. And there was obviously at the weekend, there was Raw Roulette, which neither of us were on. Benno and Gareth carried the fault for that. Lovely piece of homework. They seem to be very happy about the idea of doing a 45-minute episode of Raw, which seems like the stuff of a madman's dreams these days.
Listen, I was gutted, JP, to not be on there, but I'm only halfway through listening to the episode, but it's been good stuff so far, and just the usual. May 1995, so it's kind of a Benno and Amphlett precursor. Like it's the week before the first In Your House that was going on. So, you know, the King and Brett's on there doing the stuff. You've got Sid promo for the upcoming match against Diesel. So there's a lot going on there as always. And as you say, JP, a lot going on in 45 minutes. The promoters now should be watching that going, we can do this in 45 minutes, even 1 hour and 45 minutes, not fucking 3 hours. Jesus.
We're going to get to that because I think there's going to be a fair few kindred spirit fucking.
Listen, be careful for all the AEW fans out there. This is not me being me and just throwing the boot in. I've watched Dynamite. I've watched it also. These takes that I give today are valid. These are valid takes, guys. So apologies in advance if you don't like it. I might surprise you. I might have liked a few things as well, but we'll get there, JP.
Indeed, and obviously we've also got coming up this month. We've got the next round of the GRAPPL Pub Quiz, which I think it looks like I'm going to be doing. I think Matty for this one. We'll have a little conversation, but I think I'll announce this one. I've got a few ideas for it as well.
A good solid, JP.
Little bit of time to work on it, so I look forward to getting round to that. As well on
Can I just say I love the way the weekend is interacted, of course, and Andy, absolutely what a guy, always in the chat, appreciate it. I have actually watched the full Dynamite, Andy, genuinely. For me,
not the YouTube highlights.
Not the YouTube. I've watched Dynamite. AEW Dynamite I've watched. But also, JP, while we're at it, next week as well, I did listen to the pre-show, and we had King of the Mountain, Chris Platt on there, didn't we? Announcing his love that concept. First time I've had the chance to say that. Like, Jesus, love that. Might be using that, for a future like dealer's choice or something. It's a great concept. Mixtape of Me, it's called, and being in attendance for the matches is good enough. But the fact that he uses one promotion per match, only one promotion on there, no wrestlers repeating as well. Love that. Really getting your brain going to
some lovely restrictions. Lovely restrictions. I mean, in the best possible way. Because I think as well there'd be a good few of those that like I would have been there, and they're like, I would have been there with Chris as well. So it's like, mate, absolutely buzzing. Like another fucking brilliant choice. He's the innovator as well, isn't he? He'd be like Michi Marufuji, he would, he?
The Jushin
Malenko. Jushin Liger, yeah.
We're going like, not Malenko. What did he innovate? So they're like silence and crap promos. That's what he done. But anyway, I'm on one, JP. I'm back and I'm on one. But anyway,
you are indeed.
And
I managed. They're all the plugs for that as well. So where do you get all of that goodness? Well, if you want all those extra shows, patreon.com/grapple, or become a YouTube member, youtube.com/@grapple. We have got an offer as well, because I'm not going to bang on about it, but we've changed the schedules up a bit, and so we've got like a little bit of gift subscriptions out there as well. Honestly, exactly what you want to kind of get you through this heat wave as well is listening to us, lads. And it's a funny one. because it's not exactly the biggest news week in the history of the world. It's probably because it's so fucking hot, I'd like to think, and people can't be asked to kick off or do something stupid in there. It's quite nice. So there was a couple of things I wanted to ask you around as well, and obviously this segment needs to be renamed, but I just thought Matty in Fedland, where there's a few kind of little choice WWE stories which you want to get your takes on there as well, so it isn't just like Dynamite in there as well at the same time. But I did want to ask you from the top, have you watched any Dark Side of the Ring for this series?
You know what, JP? I haven't sat down and unlike AEW Dynamite, I haven't sat down and watched a full episode of Dark Side of the Ring, but I've seen like the Renegade one was probably the most I'd seen from certain aspects of the show there, and just wild, isn't it, JP? But when the list got announced, to be fair, for the season, I was thinking they're running out of material and it's not as, impactful as it was, and what kind of takes are they spinning on it? You know what I mean? I mean, some obviously are dark, but some you look on the surface and go, are they really that dark? What spin can they put on it? So I will sit down, JP, and watch it all when I get back to watching stuff, JP, and such like that. But in general, I mean, my films, my TVs, they'll be slotted in. But I don't know, have you had mixed reviews though about yourself? Have you seen much of it, like, mate?
I've seen all of it so far. It kind of ties in with one of the days where I'm off to work. And that's like my watching that I'll end up sort of just getting done while I'm doing like kind of various admin tasks. And I have to say, it was like, it feels obvious that they're kind of like going towards the end. And I was thinking, well, where else could they go? Japan, that's logistically very difficult, quite expensive to do. And is it going to literally translate for the kind of viewers you get back? But a lot of the stories, the only one I think that has managed to kind of really cut into things is the Samoa Joe Necro Butcher, because that felt very different. It had all the relevant characters except for CM Punk, and at the same time it had them watching the match. So, and because it was about the match, it felt like, okay, this is something slightly different. The Renegade one is kind of sad. I remember it at the time, but it's just like what happens when you're being saddled with a Hogan and Friends gimmick and it's the worst one, and Jim Warrior ain't doing any business, so you're just like, oh, I'll create my own. And it was just like remembering him at the time and just always hating Ultimate Warrior anyway.
But JP, genuinely, what's the equivalent? But what's the equivalent now? This is how mental wrestling is and was, and how it changed. Like the equivalent's getting like someone, so Cody and Roman Reigns say, and Cody goes to AEW, and he brings someone out in cosplay as Roman Reigns, but like that's what it'd be like, wouldn't it? Like it's baffling that it just wouldn't happen unless it was like what the X done with Brett, like with a little guy, taking the piss angle. But as an actual character on your show, it's just honestly at the time beggars belief, JP. But it's Hogan for you, isn't it? Just wild.
Out comes Corey Motorway instead of Cody Rhodes. and wearing the same gear, and you're back in like Diesel and Razor Ramon territory, aren't you? With old Ricky Bobby.
JP, you wouldn't be plucking these people out of the bars or the gyms. Where would you be plucking them from these days? Out of the bowling alley or the fucking gaming salon or whatever? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. If there's one man who hates male stripping, it's Arn Anderson as well, like kicking off about the old dick dancing. Wasn't a big fan, and I don't think his dicks are dancing. I mean, I thought that was more what Chris Pontius of Jackass was doing than anything else. It was as close as I've seen to literal dick dancing, and he's very good at it. In fairness to him as well, but yeah, it feels like it's towards the end of it, like the last two. It's like the Paul Orndorff one is very sad, but at this point in time, then it's just like. Man does very physical job. He gets injured. He can't really do it again. There's a point he makes a bad investment. And then there's issues with his wife. And then he gets dementia. And it's very sad, very tragic. And there's a lot of stuff there that would like kind of reminded me personally of what it was like to look after my dad at points. It's like, you know, you see that kind of stuff like near the end. It's very good, but it's not like necessarily like a classic, like, it feels like we're quite a way away. It's still relatively like it's a depressing but very sort of like human tale for that one. And it's almost the same with Ray Traylor. I don't know if that always makes good TV. Let's be kind of honest about it as well. And it's and the TNA one, it left so much stuff out, and they let the Carnies take over for it. And so the only one I would say that's worthwhile, I mean, it's worthwhile binging it. if you were going to do that as well there. But yeah, I'll be interested to see your thoughts if you do get round to it. It's kind of thing, if you're painting, stick it on. Yeah, just stick it on. You don't need to actually watch. You just listen.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all lies in there as well. So I said we are going to take a trip over to FedLand because it's not necessarily like whole big loads of news that have been kicking on as we get on the road to the biggest wrestling weekend of the year. But I wanted to see your opinion on a couple of these.
Is it April, JP?
Huh?
Is it April? Yeah. Surely not the biggest weekend in August. I mean, but anyway, I'll let that one go.
You say that.
I was going to let it go, mate, but go on.
Instead, there is still the report that the John Cena Classic is still planned for this year. Yeah, I was very intrigued to see what you said about this. We haven't had any information about this since he said it at Backlash in May. He said it's going to be a mix of main roster talent and NXT stars in there, but it's been very unclear whether or not the tournament's going to happen. In the new updates, Fightful Select reporting this, it's still planned for later this year, which we're told has a December target date, but could change in there as well. And it also says that Cena's got a multi-year agreement as an ambassador for WWE. Colour me shocked. So, Matty, what do you reckon about this fucking, this John Cena? Is it a thing that's going to be happening?
I was hoping not, JP. I was hoping it just kind of got forgotten, like some of them backstage angles they used to put on Raw, and the week after it'd just be quietly forgotten about and we all move on. But obviously not when I seen it come up. But I think if they're gonna do it, it's right there. They said December. I think that's perfect to do it. A year after he officially retired. It's something to do after War Games to close the year out. It's just filling time before the Royal Rumble, really, JP. So that makes sense in that regard. Do I want to see it? No. Am I interested in it? No. You can lose matches. Listen, I'm not the biggest wins and losses matters guy or wrestling for points or wrestling for tournaments, but if you can actually lose and still get through on your performance by the fans, it just sounds a load of nonsense, JP, to be honest with you, but we'll see what they do with it. We'll see if it actually does, create a new star or give someone a showing that you've never seen before, or maybe they even bypass NXT. They bring someone up from fucking whatever, developmental, even before NXT. Evolve someone like that. You can just see him go, bloody hell. That'd be kind of a shock value, but we'll see, JP. I don't think they know what they're doing with it, or they know the rules officially, and it could change before it even airs on TV, couldn't it, the rules and such? So we'll see.
Oh, God,
yeah. They could just make it up as they go along.
One man that they could bring into the mix in there made his debut, and that is Zilla Fatu, and obviously who made his appearance on NXT, attacking Grayson Waller. What was it? It was Grayson Waller versus Cruz Montana. And in terms of who's gonna challenge Tony D'Angelo at Heatwave, I can't even believe that bloke's the champion there as well. Yeah. And then Zilla Fatu ran in there, hit on both of a couple of Samoan splashes in there as well at the same time. So the new champion has arrived. I'm assuming this is going to be some sort of four-way, but were you impressed? It's been a long fucking time coming for this bloke to appear here, isn't it? But what did you make?
Yeah, JP, the fans, for that small crowd in NXT that used to pop for a lot of things. They've been quite quiet. What I've seen this was the biggest pop they've give for a while for someone debuting or someone returning off the main roster or whatever that may be. And they were legitimately into it, JP. They were shocked, like I was as well. I didn't expect it. I know there's always been rumors and it hype, but I didn't expect it this quick, especially after Montana coming in there. So it was good. It was good, JP. And listen, I haven't seen loads of Zilla Fatu. I haven't. I've just heard the name and seen a few of his matches and haven't followed them properly that people think that I would have. But some of the moves, I know I love that diving Samoan spike. He used to be partners with Fatu, didn't he, in GCW? Yes. They done a tag team with Jacob Fatu there. So, listen, I don't think this will be a long stay in NXT. I think it'll be an Impact one, and I think he'll be on the main roster before the year's end, obviously before WrestleMania, I'd say, maybe just to get a bit more, freshness into the bloodline angle, which obviously I like, but it's at least it's a new body and what they'll do there. So intrigued, JP, and fully behind it, of course, so we'll obviously, I don't know, as I say, I don't think he'll win the title. Maybe not. I think he'll just get in there and do a few things and have a few matches and then he'll get called up. That's what I think. Who knows? He could be there for a few years, but I doubt that one.
if I'm guessing, part of the reason he's not been in there sooner there'll be attitude things they're just looking at, because he's a young fella.
Teddy Hart, JP of the bloodline. Do you know what I mean? Is that like he's got
that's
that?
The extremist version of it, though. That's like, mate, like this bloke's kind of dangerous. I don't think he's that bad, but then sometimes you never know. Is it somebody who wants to know their own worth? People would have wondered this about Jacob Fatu and things like that. He looks like he has the right kind of shape for it. Obviously, it's far, far, far too early. But I see him up on the main roster sooner rather than later.
And he's young, JP, isn't he? He's young. He's actually young as well. I have to see
House of Glory mainly is where he seemed to be the one place he was at, and he lost to Amazing Red on the way out. It's his promotion. It kind of makes sense. So, like, that's what he's been doing there. Simon said he's shocked that you're putting over the lad with the surname Fatu.
26, JP is. So
26, he's a young fella.
He's a youngster. So
he is. But you were speaking about making stars. Is one of the place that they're going to make a star? Is it Mexico City? And is it against not the big dog anymore? As we found out, Tribal Chief has been in use longer than the big dog, which really makes me feel incredibly fucking old in there. Because obviously there is going to be a World Heavyweight Championship #1 contenders tournament with the winner facing Roman Reigns on Raw in Mexico City. This isn't happening on Triple Mania and that, but there is a few Triple A lads that are in there. Any of that take your fancy? I mean, I think we all safe to say we're all kind of fans of Triple A for the most part. They're just like there is still a weird novelty
promotion. You know what I mean?
Hey,
best book.
It has. It's got me interested in people I just didn't think I'd give a shit about, to be honest with you, on there. But who do you see winning this tournament? Who do you think is going to be that? Do you think it's going to be Ray Phoenix, Penta?
I think Penta, JP. Yeah, the usual suspect. I think Penta's the one to win this one. And listen, that'll be a good match. And seeing Roman actually have a match on Raw, which I don't know how many years that's been. That's got to be at least since he became the Tribal Chief, because he was SmackDown, wasn't he? And I know they teased that tag match that time with him and Solo v Brock and Cody, but then Brock turned on Cody. There might be a match in there like from 22 maybe, when he done like a few 6-mans, maybe 22, 21, but it's been a few years anyway, put it that way. It's been a good few years since he's wrestled on Raw. But it'd just be good to see JP. And listen, it's a tournament, is it the most groundbreaking of ways to get to get someone involved with Roman Reigns? No, but it makes sense in traditional land, doesn't it? You know what I mean? So that's fair. You got to tick a box with that. And it'll be a big match, JP. Whether it's Penta and Roman in Mexico City, it'll be heated, won't it? And it'll be good. The fans will be behind Penta, who's actually been a push commodity in WWE. So it makes sense from that regard as well. So, yeah, all for it, JP. Unsurprisingly.
Unsurprisingly indeed. I mean, I'll see what your opinions on another tournament featuring a load of luchadors is.
That's right, Terry. The Netflix debut. Yeah, the Netflix debut be Solo. There you go for the Tribal Combat winner for the Ulafala. That was the last time on Raw. So it was a big one. Even though that was like a special episode, of course. Outside of that, it must be hit me with the last time, mate. I reckon about 22, for one of those. So, yeah, big match, JP. And yet them luchadors. Listen, some of the matches have been good as well in the meantime. So, all the match guys will get the fix, so it's all good.
And one final story from here as well. Although it's been reported that she is going to be wrestling, or she's not going to be stripped of the title, certainly, but Chelsea Green has confirmed she's broken an orbital bone from SmackDown there as well. But she's going to be having a bit of time off as much as anything else. She was teaming with Tiffany Stratton against Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed when she injured there as well. But the fact they're not taking the belt off her suggests a level of confidence. And here's going to be my prediction. This is the reason I put this up. I think she's going to make it work. I think she's going to end up doing loads of vignettes and stuff that kind of get it over. Because if the one thing you would say about Chelsea Green, and I've heard really like at points kind of like mixed things and people really disliking her, she takes her opportunity. She's Kevin Phillips, really, in the sense that she's not necessarily like the best striker, but my God, you give them a chance, they're going to go and take it. You give her a comedy spot in a Royal Rumble and she makes it work. She comes up with some good spots and it like those kind of things. She always takes that little bit of opportunity when she goes out there.
We've got it. Have we got a Kevin Dunn in the production suck there, JP? Because I think that's not you, is it? That's not you, is it? That's somebody else, isn't it?
That isn't me.
But,
I wonder who this is.
I'll ignore it. But it's no, with Chelsea Green, JP, you're right. I think it's even myself, who's not a big fan. She's one of them. She's not. I wouldn't say as bad as Danhausen. Don't get me wrong, because nobody is. But keep her as a character. Valet, have the odd tag matches. She's that kind of wrestler, as you say, takes full fucking advantage of 30 seconds backstage, which all the other miserable wrestlers over the last decade should have fucking took a note of, instead of being fucking moody. Take your fucking chance while you get it, and you do get rewarded. Now, she has always had bad luck with injuries, and we've seen that. Even I went, for fuck's sake, what timing that is when you're the interim champion, you're getting injured as well as her personally, always like having that bad luck. So, yeah, she should make it work. And as you say, if they're not stripping a JP of that, then obviously they're confident they can get around. But my point of the whole thing is, it was wild getting the belt, which people say it's deserved, but I just don't think it makes sense. I thought Jade or Charlotte will win that. So when Rhea comes back, the obvious thing to do is champion v champion. If Rhea comes back and does that, she's just going to beat it in like fucking 5 minutes. So it's a waste of time in that regard. So, it's a double-edged sword there, JP, but what can you do?
Yeah, exactly. I think she'll make it work. I think it'll be like sort of like when Britt Baker got injured and they just sort of had to kind of use her on TVs. I didn't really have that many wrestlers there. Then all of a sudden they're the people that they end up using. She's good enough to be able to make it work, and she gives them exactly what they want from one of the. It's the way that she's kind of shoved her way in there is always the thing I find kind of pretty impressive. Got some quick hit stories coming up now at this point. First of which, if I can find it quite rightly on here, it is regarding Jim Ross. He has undergone successful brain surgery. This was him, and he was hosting it with Grilling JR co-host Conrad Thompson informed fans of the news on Wednesday in there as well that he had a successful brain procedure there, and that he is going to be coming back. This is about sort of draining excess fluid as well. Not particularly nice, but at the same time, it's sort of like he's had a litany of health issues. You just kind of wish him the best as well, and that he's able to relax. That's all you can hope for.
A survivor, JP, like honest to God, like if the age,
absolutely,
and I always bring, and that's why I can be mad in ways where like I'll separate stuff from wrestlers and not, but with Jim Ross I can't. He's one of them people I can't, like, but from the minute his wife passed on, like I'll pack in, I personally, what the strength to carry on doing that. And then you're getting all this cancer stuff that he's been battling and traveling and coming back and willing to go. He must have, and I believe in this, JP, without getting too deep here. I know this is a fucking wrestling podcast, but if you don't give in, I think that goes a long way. He could have easily threw the towel in, JP. He could have easily have just went, fuck this, I can't be arsed with all this anymore. And he would have been, and when I seen that last week, I thought, for fuck's sake, another big, massive, as you say, these aren't just going in to get like stuff fucking, burnt off, you know what I mean? By that, like, this is like legit fucking absolute wildness, no matter how old you are, especially at his age. So God bless him, that's all I can say. And if the wrestling's keeping him going, and that's where I'll always give Tony Khan it, whether people like his commentary or not, that's irrelevant at this point for me. And he should just be saying it, because Tony Khan there, like, you've got to give all the credit in the world, JP, for looking after him. And that's what I've got to say there, mate. That's it. Hope he's okay.
Yeah. Well, on much happier news, I think, for all of us as well. I know it's a good news story because he's recovering. But Malachi Black has been announced for Progress Wrestling in September. Thought I'd throw this into the mix. He's part of the Odyssey Tour as well. I don't know what they're trying to cash in on there. It goes Edinburgh on September the 4th, Leeds O2 Academy on September the 5th, and Manchester O2 Ritz, which I'm sure you're going to be at either the Leeds or Manchester. I assume the Manchester one is exactly where you're going to be there as well. His last appearance in Progress was 2017 when he had a match against Jimmy Havoc. No recollection of that. He was part of the Sumerian Death Squad with Michael Dante. It's fucking flashbacks of that one in there as well. And there's also going to be a Nikki Storm, Kaylee Ray match on there. So big Damo, mate. He's using all the connects. He's got Malachi in. What version are we getting in here? The fact he's been announced as Malachi Black, but I think he's changed his Twitter handle to Tommy end. So I think he's made the kind of social media changes. He's coming back. He's not going to say. Were you ever a fan of his?
I mean, that's in a nutshell, no. But I wasn't as down on him as everyone is. Do you know what I mean? I thought, don't get on, like, he fucking waffled on, didn't he, JP? Fucking hell, he actually chatted some shit, you know what I mean? On TV, he chatted some shit. But I thought, at a period, the NXT, he was good. He was a good worker. Like, for me, he was laid it in. Even when he come back, he was unique in a way, weren't he? His strikes and his way he approached it. Don't get me wrong, but it's one of them with him. You just know he was thinking this to stand out, and that's usually a positive. But when you're in your own head and you believe your own shit, it's like it translates. And come on, we know what you're thinking here, mate. But at a point, JP, no, he was. I thought he was good, yeah, but never a fan. But I thought, oh yeah, he's good. But I know why. It's the connect from the Brit Res, isn't it? By everyone like Benno and people are down on him, and I get that. You know what I mean? But no, never. But listen, that's one of them again, JP. For me, where will I be running out to buy a ticket? No. But that's the type of person, if this new progress is getting off the ground, at least it's somebody, JP. At least it is a somebody. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're up or down on him or not, it's kind of someone who's still in kind of the prime. He's not finished. Do you get what I mean? It's still got some sort of value in his own fan base. Do you know what I mean? So at least it's something that he can use. So, yeah, be positive for them in that regard. Like,
that'll be one of the things we're going to see with this version of Progress.
If it works,
is who are they going to be able to bring across? It's just whether or not there's a market for it. And you see some of the ticket prices and think, no, this is like that's not going to walk me back into the building there as well. Keeping on the Brit Rest theme, we have had a couple of match announcements, and there's certainly ones that have changed.
Some of the chat comments brilliant there, by the way. Sorry.
You are. And then, oh god. But yes, for the Rev Pro 14th anniversary card in London, we do have FTR. They're challenging Cowboy Way. Originally, it was going to be Young Guns, Luke Jacobs, and Ethan Allen. More of which of Luke Jacobs in a moment. But Ethan Allen's got another injury. It's incredibly bad timing for him. For such a young lad, having had a couple of these, he suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus tear, and went under surgery there as well. So it's now going to be Cowboy Way being moved in there to FTR, who don't have a role at all in yet. We'll talk about them in a little bit. It's not the only match that's been announced because Luke Jacobs, they've moved him. It kind of makes sense, really, for this one here. He's been moved into a slot with Luke Jacobs, and I don't know what you feel about that, as a massive toe appears on here. Oh, no, he's gone with the wrong story on there as well, so I need to get the right one up. All these tabs, mate, I've got a fucking piece.
JP, unless they're doing an Undertaker versus Undertaker 1994, Pac, he's fighting Luke Jacobs, isn't he? He's fighting Pac at the Rev Pro show. But it would be a good match, Luke Jacobs versus Luke Jacobs. That would be a good match. Like,
it is. Did I say Luke Jacobs versus Luke Jacobs? I'm cracking up, mate. That's what happens. Benno's away, and this whole thing goes to hell in a handcart, trying to manage my way through all the tabs. And all they kept on saying was just Fightful, and it's like, so I was having to guess. So one of the and finally spoiler ones have come up on there, and people are going to wonder what the fuck I was talking about for there. But yeah,
I love it.
Luke Jacobs not versus himself in some sort of Looper style match, but against Pac. Although they've made it look for video viewers that it looks like they've gone through some sort of time travel wormhole there as well. I mean, Luke Jacobs ain't winning that much. I'd go. I'd be very sure on that one there as well. But a good match nonetheless. We've had a few announcements for that card. I mean, you're not coming. That we'll talk more about All In, I suppose, later on there as well. I am going to be going to the Rev Pro show. I am looking forward to it, and I think at last kind of ticket count, I'm guessing it's around sort of 3,500 mark. But I am going to go. I just haven't got my arse into gear in order to get the tickets for it, and it's more of because I've not had much of a chance this year. I kind of want to get. I want to get myself kind of like going to at least sort of like familiarize like having a check-in with a product. You know, it's like you go along and you just like, all right, let's see what's going on here. Let's see how much interest is there as well. Because there's a lot of it that I've not had a chance to see because it always feels like the roster's in, you know, a state of rebuild and flux and moving people about. But
would you be going on your own, JP, to that? Like as in Without the family or with the family?
Oh, without the family for that one.
Yeah.
Family going to come along to Wembley.
But I was about to say, if you're going
6 tickets for £9, mate.
If you're going on your own, JP, to Red Pro, so when you go to All In, you'll have 6 tickets. You can get fruit shoots all around for the kids. Get yourself a pint, and it'll still cost you less than your Red Pro tickets. That's brilliant. That's fucking great.
It will. Yeah, actually, it will do. You're not wrong.
I love it, mate.
Even with inflated Wembley prices,
it's just less. It's
Insane.
remarkable. But listen, that card, JP, that looks good. That Rev Pro card on paper there looks good, and I want them to do well with that. 3,500 is good, but I think they're trying to break the record, aren't they? That you were saying, which is it near 5,000? Is it, JP, something like that?
So progress is 4,750. And it's whether or not is there an uptick in the last week beforehand with a few announcements there as well.
You know what, JP? I'd do
the rest of the card.
Yeah. I'd do what they should, what AEW done. I'd honestly, with 2 weeks to go or next week, just start giving them away just to break that record. It doesn't matter how you get them in the building.
I suppose, that's it. Although the more tickets you sell, the more you got to pay for security. I'm imagining it's those kind of deals in there as well at the same time. Just make sure you cover your costs. That's always like the key thing. They've got Oku versus Connor Mills, which has been the long-term story they've been telling there. So that's for the British Heavyweight Championship. For the British Women's Championship, Alexis Falcon versus Kanji. And I think Kanji winning the title has been, again, like one of the stories that they've been building to with all of the smaller shows there as well. Leighton Buzzard defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Nino Bryant. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jay Joshua. They're getting Zack into a reasonably, it's a high-profile spot for Jay Joshua as much as you know. So I've seen in Oxford before, and he's bloody good. Leon Slater versus Liam Slater, again, one of the stories they've been telling there as well. Callum Newman, Joe Lando, Maverick Mayhew, Danny Black versus Will Craven, True, Lacey, and X. So God knows, really. I'm expecting British wrestler who is around that point in time, or possibly someone from AEW. I don't know. I can't think of who it'd be because there's so fucking many of them over there. It could be
anybody
all day.
Any one of the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
Or the Death Riders or the fucking anyone else. Can't wait to talk about AEW. I cannot wait to talk about AEW.
We're getting there. I'm delaying you on this one here. And then Robbie X versus someone to be announced as well. So yeah, that's what we've got on there as well at the moment. A couple of other smaller stories. I'm not going to share the screen at this point, so just not to balls it up. Well, I will do it for one of the stories. But Tetsuya Naito has become GXE heavyweight champion, beat Shane Haste at Noah. Legacy rise in there, which is ridiculous because he can barely fucking move. It was a sold-out Korakuen in there as well. Haste has had it since May the 2nd. It's not the young lads winning it. We're back with Naito winning it, of which they enjoyed it afterwards as well. When in terms
good to
of the
see,
crowd
JP. All the promotions, all the big promotions in the world, like that don't push the young talent. We got Naito, we got Kenny Omega, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, all the old guys all over the world on top. All in the same bracket, JP. That's what I love.
It should be.
All working on the same wavelength. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All between what
40 to 47. Got to be in your 40s.
40 to 47. Everyone. And it was ready for the knackers yard time when you see what some of the 4-year-olds are like. But that grapple pub quiz, you're going to have to wait to the end of the month. See which one you could find for that one there as well. And the final and finally story we've got for this week is to do with archaeologists believing a 2,004-year-old tomb belonged to a pro wrestler.
He's got to run left, JP. He's got to run left.
He has. He's in Ring of Honor next week, isn't he, there as well? According to Live Science, 2,004-year-old tomb was found during excavations at an ancient city of Aspendos in southwest Turkey. I'll probably holidayed near there as well. It was found... discovered a skeleton alongside silver coins showing the wrestlers in the tomb in there, which suggests the person may have been involved in sports, perhaps even a wrestler in there. So, yeah, the Aspendos Stadium, 8,000 in ad there as well. So, bigger than the fucking Sportatorium there, isn't it, as well at the same time? I mean, I don't know what it would have been like as an event to see it back then. Would it have been all shoot style? Would there have been anything kind of... fun that these lads would have been doing, what they would have made of Ron Reese if he'd been time machine back there as well at the same time. Would have been interesting.
Mate, it would have been as real gets back there, JP, I'd say. But, you know what I mean? Listen, good job, Dynamite. We don't go over there to Turkey because they couldn't fill that stadium, JP. So 8,000's a bit too out their range at the minute. But God bless. But, you know, that's a great story, though, JP. That's a proper and finally story, that, mate. That's a fucking...
It is.
Really good, that. Enjoyed it.
Main eventer age as well. Has he paid his dues? I don't know. I mean, up
a bit card, he's more than enough his dues. He's put a few chairs out, JP. I'm sure he's put a few fucking chairs out. Fucking hell.
Maybe that's how he ended up in the team. He started legging out of there quickly enough, and they just sort of stuck him in there. Did a hard handshake.
Can we say that, JP? What's your take on that? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm torn on it, I think. What do you think, like, about this Styles' as kid, isn't it? If anyone doesn't know, AJ Styles' as kid was at the GCW show, and people started having a go at him because he turned up, didn't he, just before his match and didn't help set anything up. What do you reckon on that?
Yeah.
Like?
I think so. Personally, I couldn't give a shit. Like, should he be doing it? Yeah, obviously. I mean, if Brody Lee Junior can do it, then he should be doing it. Is he going to get a bit of an ego and is he going to be treated all right? Yeah, because he's AJ Styles' son, but he's going to be hothoused into the WWE system soon enough, and you can tell that's what AJ's kind of hanging around for doing. And if they decide to piss off AJ, he's got his mates running the other big company in the world. So in some ways, these little rites of passage things aren't going to really matter for him. I don't think he's going to give a shit, because it just feels like, why should he? Like for doing this stuff. Is it true? Probably. Could I imagine him being a bit of an arsehole who's who's that kid? Is it Jackie is it Moltisanti? Or is it Jackie April Jr.?
Jackie Jr.
Jackie Jr. Proper fucking arsehole, wasn't he, as well? I'm getting a big Jackie Jr. vibes from him as well.
But you think this one, because I was torn on it because we're so everything about wrestling. It's like, we know that's the old school protocol. We know that, but should it be a protocol? Like, should it be a protocol? Shouldn't he hire people to put fucking chairs out in the ring? Are they that tight? Do you know what I mean? This is where everything's evolved, wrestling, and should evolve, shouldn't it? It's, you're making enough money. Hire 4 people to fucking put chairs out. Why do the kids have to do it anymore? But I get it's always been the way, and respect. And I agree with that to a degree. Of course, you should respect the elders and respect the people that come before you. Of course. But it's like, if it's any other job, JP, and someone said to me, I've fucking fixed that window, it's not my job. You know what I mean? I'll have a go because I like but it's not my job. I even shit in it. I don't want to fuck it up, so there's no point. It's mad. So I know it's one chair set in the ring, but it's it's moved on it, but obviously it hasn't wrestling.
It's as close to a dojo as you're going to get. Like that dojo kind of stuff, like lads making of the food for the older wrestlers and stuff like that. Those kind of stuff. It falls into that category.
It's like football, innit? Do these new players clean the boots of the players before them? No, it's moved on. It doesn't happen no more, does it? It doesn't. You don't hear of it, do you? So why is Wrestling King on to that? As I say, you're making more money than you've ever done. The whole of wrestling, even independence, GCW, run fucking 2 shows a week. Can't they hire 4 people to put fucking chairs out? That's what does my head in.
You mentioned about the football, like the money some of these youth players are on as well. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, fucking hell, $2,000 a week, I'll eat the mud off the boots. That's how fucking serious I'll take it. I'll be like, no, I'm there.
Did you hear about sorry, sidebar in here, but is it Dorking, that non-league team? What's the owner called, JP, of Dorking? You see him in the caps all the time, and like he's a bit of a jack the lad. Someone in the chat. I can't think. Jimmy, some of these non-league players are making $6,000 a month. It's mad. It's for non-league, where like some of them, never used to be fucking, they were part-timers or making 50 quid an appearance a shot. You know what I mean? He's making $6,000 a month in non-league.
That's like, seriously, mate. That's like you're getting up to like 120 grand a year, like for non-league football as well. That feels very much like league football, but that's it. They get these attendances, don't they? They draw these crowds in there. And speaking of drawing crowds, I feel like we've probably delayed it for long enough, Matty. AEW Dynamite. You watched it?
Yeah.
We're on the road to All In 2026.
Yeah, we are. I'm joking.
We have a card here as well. Obviously, last week, the Arena Mexico one was one that, not canon.
Non-canon, yeah.
non-canon, cracking house show. 3 hours, repeat, 3 hours of wrestling here. A mere sprightly 2 hours, 21 minutes for a 2-hour TV show.
Why is he obsessed with these overruns, JP? He's obsessed with them, isn't he? It's hilarious. I love it, though.
They love him.
It cracks me up.
Give us telly. Go ahead, stick it on how long?
Going into like
3 days.
Why is he doing it?
That never ends. This show that never ends. Just a fella in a ring asleep at some point around 5:30 in the morning. As clean as are going around there, but yeah, what did you make of this? Is it you like to step into AEW land every once in a while?
JP, and you know what? It's a mixed bag to say the least. I will say that, JP. Like, you know, first and foremost, we are on the road to All In, and I suppose in tick and box wise, you know, we had the number 2 spot for the Casino Gauntlet match that was highly predictable. Who was going to win? We had the main event of, we've got the Continental Cup match going on with everyone. For some reason, people were thinking Jungle Jack Perry was going to beat Jonathan Moxley. In what world that could happen, it's amazing. Also with Mox, longest match of the night again, 15 minutes, and it was main event. But fucking hell, we've got the tournament team losers to John Moxley in the final. You know what I mean? That was, to be fair though, that was actually a good match. I actually enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed the match and for what it was. And Moxley's he's the funniest wrestler alive, JP. Everything about him, what we know, and the way he's politic, and then even the matches he delivers on TV, he's just the fucking funniest wrestler to me. I'm intrigued by him. I'm intrigued to see who gets this final, because who's it going to be? I think it'd probably be Cesaro, Claudio. If they don't have the final, they've got to wrestle. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, that's a bit of story, though, isn't it? That's a bit. Simon's nailed it. It's the John Moxley Memorial Cup. It genuinely is.
It's the title of the show.
It's great, but he's got to wrestle Cesaro along the way. He's got to for a bit of something. Do you know what I mean? It's better having just these tournament matches. But I did enjoy that though. Bloodbath. You know what I mean? For Jack Perry played his part well as well. Passed out. I loved all that.
I thought the main event was the AEW All Atlantic International Continental Cup first round match where Clon defeated John Moxley.
We're not that lucky. That was a one-time deal, JP. You should never rematch that ever again. It should stand on its own for the rest of the time, that match, Clon versus John Moxley. 18 minutes worth of action, I think it was. But, I mean, I know we're flip-flopping all over the place, but like I thought, we'll keep on that main event on what it was doing, JP, for the tournament match and for the first time ever. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it bore the life out of me. Obviously, I had to bleed buckets to get a bit of interest for me, but it worked, and it put Jack Perry over in defeat as well. So I've got to give a thumbs up to that main event. Like even if that's slightly begrudgingly, I've got to do it, JP.
Yeah. I mean, I think, oh my God, like. There are things, and this is me getting back to my bigger issue with this. And in some ways, I wonder if I'm going to go in there with more two-footed than yourself. But basically, I looked at this as I just went, this is all very uninspiring. It's not bad, as in it's not like the worst piece of wrestling television you'll ever watch, but it's very uninspiring. Didn't help in front of a crowd, and this is what I wanted to get your vibe on this. Do you think this is a tourist crowd? Or is it AEW fans, and they want to see wrestling? Hence, the couple of... It's never good when you get those kind of little memeable moments, whether it's Jericho sort of like trying to signal, to get out of the ring and then walking over and go, and just seeing that, or whether it's the guy whose voice you could hear about, like, we love you, Mercedes, come home. No, we love you, Sasha. Sorry, like coming home and all of that kind of stuff. It was those kind of like moments. It made me sort of wonder. Like, I didn't think they were a good crowd, but I didn't think this was a crowd. This is like very because they didn't seem like they were really into the for Will Ospreay Kenny Omega promo. Just made me think, what kind of crowd was this?
You're right. It was a walk-up tourist crowd, 1,800 house, wasn't it? Like it was, and that's not me even sticking the boot in. It was what it was for the location.
Have you been there, the Pearl?
And it's Vegas. No, I haven't been to that one, JP. That was the year before where it didn't go to the indie shows. Had just done all the WWE shows the first year, didn't I? And the WrestleCons, so it didn't get to go there, unfortunately. But it was what it was. Even the entrance way, JP, it was like they tried to shoot it, especially that opener with when Don Callis come out. He might as well have been in the ring with Will Ospreay. The way they shot it, it was just like we're trying to look as if they're far away. But then when they went round the other way, he was literally standing by the ring. And that's once again, that's not having a go. It's just the way it was and the way they tried to get round it and use what they had on the night. And fair play, but yeah, JP. I mean, we'll go back to that MJF match once again. Was it the worst match I've ever seen? No. And had a couple of things. I love that fucking forearm MJF done where Nick Wayne jumped out the corner and he just went fuck off with a big forearm. Love that kind of thing. But once again, JP, yeah, maybe uninspiring, predictable. And I know sometimes predictable. I always say predictable is like not the worst negative you can throw at a wrestling company. But it's just too predictable, maybe, with the MJF thing. And I know you've got to tick boxes and make everything make sense. And this is what I mean about wrestling in general, JP. We're so brained that we know what's coming. We kind of have a go with it for that. But that's what you should do. If we're being honest, you should tick boxes because people will say, well, that doesn't make sense then. So it's a never-ending conundrum, JP, which I'm going to try and get to the bottom of or try and get people more articulate than me to get to the bottom of. It's broken. It's just the way it is and we've got to get on with it. And so you can't even have a go with that because that's what they're building to in the story, MJF and Andrade. But for me, why couldn't you just have a singles match with the two?
Oh, don't.
Why can't you just do that? And have the gauntlet as well? Because to me, and I'm once again sorry for going all over the show, I don't think this is anywhere near the level of big compared to last year. Like you had the Carter and Omega, you had fucking Hangman and Moxley, you had Storm versus Mercedes, which was a big women's match at the time. And then you had the tag match winner of Ospreay and Swervey, the Bucks. Am I right? That was the four big ones, weren't it? And you had your two gauntlets, and you had all the other stuff. Let's not go into the undercard because I think some of this undercard hopefully should be better because I did look that up. But I know you've got Ospreay and Omega as your main, but I don't think it's nowhere near on the level of like Marquee. I think it's a bit of a letdown for their WrestleMania. Where people have a go at WrestleMania. I think on paper, you could be doing a lot. You could have MJF and Andrade adds to it. Swerve in a singles match adds to it. It's all a bit filler now, JP. It's a hard because the show itself was. I don't know if you found this in the main to be quite uninspiring, and a lot of these directions for Wembley are quite uninspiring. And I'll go through this and see if you can notice the common theme in sort of lots of these matches. One of them doesn't have it, but it's got something that's kind of adjacent to it. So you've got for the AEW World Championship, Omega versus Ospreay. For the AEW Women's World Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. For the AEW International Championship, Carl Fletcher versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada. For the AEW TNT Championship, Falls Count Anywhere, Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin. For the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Cage and Cope versus the Young Bucks. For the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship, Divine Dominion versus the Brawling Birds. For the AEW Continental Challenge Cup Final, we don't know who that's going to be. It's the belt, though, isn't it? It's the belt. It's the championship belt as well. That Continental. Mel Rock's the champion
for the belt. In the way that normally all cup competitions are, where if Arsenal got to the final, they'd be putting up the league trophy and while still challenging for the cup as well. Classically, that's how this and seeing as the whole thing's aped on that as well at the same time. For the men's casino gauntlet match, we already know the top two spots in there as well. This is the problem. This is the crutch of what happens when you fall back on. It's just about titles. And you forget about blood feuds, which then means you end up forgetting about stories and you forget about those little singles battles. So MJF and Andrade have reason, have a bit of history for them to want to have like a fight with each other, which you could have as a gimmick match if you really saw fit, but you could do that. But there'd almost be this number one kind of slot of moving up towards the title thing that you could have had. And you could have had the same thing with Swerve versus Hangman in there as well at the same time. I mean, God, I would have brought back Moxley versus Danielson, but you can't have Moxley doing that because he's a champion at the minute. And so because of that championship, he gets defended for this. It's the replacement of telling stories with these characters.
That's his booking clutch. That
fucking belts.
Yeah, that's what it is. And that's the lack of creativity in a way but that's where I'm saying it's like, it is lack of creativity, but in his mind, it's, well, they're all fighting for titles. They're fighting for something. These matches mean something because it's for the belt. Yeah. So in a way, you go, I can't really argue with that, but it's not the most creative thing. We want a bit more. We want a bit more juice. As you say, we want a bit more serious feuds. Like, and they've done that with Swerve and Hangman. They've done it in the past, but they keep adding belts, don't they? They keep adding more. The trios title is going to get defended. JP, add that to the list. That, so there you go. And it's never.
And we might as well get to it, because I thought that was like a very odd segment. The Swerve one, Swerve coming back in, and it's trios title, which is just the biggest suggestion of having a load of people on the card. You're not entirely good.
It could be a trios title match. It could be 3v3v3. JP,
and if this is the way you're going to debut New Day, and I thought about this. I thought the only way that would work is if you have them as effectively, if you have it as part of a Four Horsemen style stable with Swerve, New Day, and just like a big piece of muscle. On the outside, you do that, and you allow Swerve to have like a proper stable, like just like a killer stable there as well. This, like, well, why not just go with something? Maybe that bloke who they signed, who was with him, was it Ashanti the Adonis or something like that? Yeah. And he's turned up now, and he's in Ring of Honor and whatnot. Then maybe that might be the direction to go for it. But instead, it's for a series of belts that shouldn't be anything other than a TV belt. It's just like, if you want to have a championship match on TV, here you go for it. But I found that just a weird segment, and him backing down, like, you know, it just all felt, and maybe this is me, and I'm heavily rambling here, just thought it was all over the shop.
But I think that with his return there, where he did confront Hangman and Bandido and Brody, wasn't it? And then Ricochet and, I mean, the swirl, is it? I mean, there was six guys on the stage, and one was Jay Lethal, and my head fell off. Like, what's going on? And I know that watch the product, but could any AEW fan have told me, like, the six guys were going to come out there? Because my head fell off, and I was laughing, going, there's 12 guys on me telly. Why is there 12 people on my screen at once? Why have we got to feature so many people at all times? Like, you can have a week off, but that's what we've got. I'll cut it back to the attendance, JP, in the crowd. For Swerve, who's been off telly, it was a wet fart in a church fucking return. No one gave a shit. His new music's terrible. It hasn't got the impact as the other one. So when the music hit, anyone might have been walking out, JP. It didn't get a reaction. I felt bad for him. I felt terrible for him. And Swerve, for me, like, and I was as big as advocate, loved them years ago. One of them guys have followed from when I watched the Indies in 2017, 18. For some reason, loved them. Thought he had something. He got there in the end. But he's another one, JP starting to believe his own hype too much. You know what I mean? With the way he's delivering his promos, just something off with there. I love the story with Hangman. You can always go back to, but as I think Simon said in our Discord, that's the fire emergency with break glass, because what he can go back to, and you can, once again though, you can always because it's been in, so I'll let that one slide. But I don't know, I just felt it was a mess, JP, for me. It was a bit of a mess, but all over the trios belts, JP, the infamous, the world renowned. You know,
it is. I mean, I'll try and give this some degree of order. If we sort of just go through sort of the main sort of like other bits we haven't got onto here as well. No, it's as my fault as anything else. And it's partly because just watching this, it was like a whole lot of 3 stars. It's not like there was anyone. You mentioned like the main event. Yeah, the main event had something.
They have to bleed all over the place, JP, and tell that story in that regard to get that. But you know what I mean?
And it was first time ever. But I'm not interested in Jack Perry. That's it. I know you met him and he smells lovely and everything else. And it just felt like he knew what the result was going to be.
He said, I smell lovely. Let's get that here.
You had me looking at, is it Zara, you know, is that Zara perfume that you, aftershave, you do well with perfume all over the shop. What did you think of the Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega stuff in there? I mean, I think for this is where the Death Rider's influence of this should have been an absolute layup. This is a third match in a trilogy between 2 generationally great wrestlers, in-ring wrestlers. Kenny, who is on the downturn, but can still turn up on the big occasion, versus Ospreay in his home country. They've had a match in Japan, where they both have a storied history. They have had that match in Canada as well. They've both been tremendous. This is going to be a tremendous match, and a bit of mind games and psyching out. And instead it feels like a lot of the Death Rider stuff And I suspect in this as well, we're going to be getting Don Callis family versus Ospreay and Omega, which I don't.
JP,
whatever. It's
can
fine.
they
It's
coexist in a tag match?
Can they coexist? Yeah. Austin and Michaels all over again, isn't it? It's
listen.
That type of, and I don't know. It's like I didn't think like the promos was particularly bad for what it was, but it just more felt like this is sort of wrestling telly 101. Don Callis family come out in, you've got your kind of like inciting incident and stuff like that. And
JP, what put my head in?
And a guy who's got reason, he's in both of their corners as well for him to be getting involved. But I think we're getting a whole load of screwy shite at All In, and it scares me.
What I done my head in the most, I know it's a numbers game. It's like Rocky Romero and Trent attacking him. And I like Mark Davis because that's the story they've been telling on TV, that they've had matches in the history there. But when I seen Trent, I know you've got to like have your jobbers in groups getting beat down, but I was like, for fuck's sake, come on, let's do something. But it does. I just can't look past them. But you're right. It looks like, but that's when they announced this match so far out, and the peak for me, I said that last time I was on one of these shows, that first week dueling promo battle was brilliant. That should have been the go home, JP. You're right. They shouldn't, even if you've done training packages, videos, vignettes, and just build this match up like you don't see these. Not quite like a Piper and Hogan where Piper's in Alcatraz for a fucking week or whatever they done. But it's like, we're gonna rest now. Because all this shit about like, because basically that's what he's saying, like, I saved you, I want you healthy. Why couldn't he have just said, right, we're both not going to wrestle, we're both going to train, we'll check in each week. Do something creative like that. It's something different. You've got a million other wrestlers to fucking use on TV to build tournaments and fucking Royal Rumbles and fucking reverse battle royals. You could do that for once, though. It'd be refreshing to do, and as you say, build up as this grandiose match that it should be. And listen, we're fantasy booking here. But my point was, that was so good. That first duel and promos, that they're never going to top it, JP. What they do, because what they do best is wrestle. They've got to talk for 4 weeks. It's not going to work because they for two people who can't talk, great. They nailed it out the park, JP. That's the highest compliment I can give as someone who loves angles and promos. They're not going to top that. So they should. So here on out for me, it's a weaker build regardless. And as you say, they're throwing in Ric Flair and fucking Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 92, aren't they? That's what that is with Don Callis. Whose corners he going to be in or whatever there's going to be. That's what it screams like with Wembley Law. Listen, I don't know. Maybe I am going on a bit, but Jesus Christ, that was felt messy. Even Kenny on his knees and telling them stuff, that was okay for Kenny again.
Yeah.
It was a bit hammy, wasn't it? That like, I'm not going to save you next time. And Ospreay then thanked him and said, I don't need you to and want you to. But you did need him to, mate. You're getting battered. So it's, I don't know. It's peaked. It peaked week 1 because it was so good that, and it's only going to go downhill till they get in the ring, and then they're going to do typical AEW. They're going to redeem everything because they're going to have an all-timer. So there you go.
There's the bind they're in is they feel they need them on telly in order to sell the tickets for these shows in the next couple of weeks building up. But really, this should be some pre-tape promos reminding you of how good their first couple of matches are, and they should feel big. Now, that may seem like you're not building towards your main event, but in some ways, it's some of the other stuff where you need those. Like you can have those, like even a sit-down interview. I wouldn't mind like them speaking like normal human beings. That's one thing that AEW does do very well.
You
could have that stuff instead of doing that, and that's it's a concern. I'll put it that way. That it's resorting to like all these other factors outside when really the better version of this match just involves these two guys. Yeah. That's all it is. And
two more Dynamites,
like a side note. Yeah,
2 more Dynamites to go, so we'll see what they do with them.
We will do. I mean, I don't know. You've already spoken about MJF winning. I mean, it seemed like an absolute no-brainer for that one in there. I'm like you. Like I'm not happy about there being the casino gauntlet because it just feels like a way of lobbing on loads of. You want to know where Commander is? You want to know where Clon is? He's in that. That's
but
where
they're
he
starting
is.
It anyway, aren't they? And I know people will say, well, they can build up to a singles match at All Out and they can carry the story on. Fair play, but this is your biggest show of the year, supposedly. Have a big singles match with MJF on there, one of your big stars.
This match, if you wanted to kind of fill a gap for like All Out, I wouldn't have been like entirely averse to it even appearing on there, rather than this. Like, I would want to see, because that's been built really well. And I think part of the problem is Andrade is national champion. What the fuck does that mean? Like really, what does that mean? It's absolutely in.
But JP, can I say as well, going back to the Swerve segment, I mean, it goes this with, like, we had special guest commentator for the night, fucking Paul White, who I thought was terrible. I mean, I haven't listened to him if he does, well, he's terrible. Like, when Swerve come out, he said, Swerve, he looks great, he looks better than ever. The man was clad head to toe in leather. How could he tell? How could he tell if he looked great? He wasn't wrestling. That's what you say when you take your top off, you're in great neck, all that. What was he on about? He's just cliche 101.
Your work overalls. Your pecs looking great. What have you got? Can you see through my clothes? How does this work? You got X-ray vision. Like, it's a little bit scary if that's the case. An entirely different concept for a wrestler. But Chris is, using Mania to build Backlash. It's like, no, like, this is the show. This is where you put your best foot forward. This is where you should be ending and starting big storylines. That's what the purpose of this is.
JP.
Speaking of big storylines ending, though, we did have the AEW Continental Cup first round match, even though we had Mick Foley involved with the Bang Bang Gang. And honestly, he's no good at this role at the moment. He just appears to be getting like he never even went bang bang like he would have done. It was like, the whole purpose of that promo bit is to have that there. And maybe that happened and I just zoned out from it. But I didn't see him do that. So it was like, well, what's the fucking point? And then Jay White and David Finlay had a match.
David, what's Jay White doing in his pajamas? Like, what's he doing? And I love Jay White. For me, he's one of them. I know he's had his injuries, criminally underused. I know he's had a main event with MJF when MJF was cosplaying as Austin for the night in ambulances and shit like that. But criminally underused. But what does he do with this new get-up, JP? They look like pajamas, mate. Like specials. Like, just no good. But, you know, mate, he's another wrestler that's just in this tournament, really, JP. That's all you can say.
When Steph said, when we were asked this about on Ask Grapple, and Steph had said about Jay White to the Fed, you could kind of see the reason. Like, it's just like he feels like he's very much lost in the logjam. And the fact he's wearing those clothes, put it this way, is that a main eventer's outfit?
No,
nowhere close to it. That I'm getting visions of like Owen Hart. It's the kind of thing that Jack Evans would have worn, like back in the day. He really is. It's just like it's shocking behaviour for that one there.
He went through. JP. Jay White did get the all important victory. To be fair, though, at least he won.
He did.
To be fair,
at least he won.
He was a match. One of the people. It was a pro wrestling. I'm not robbing the line from our glorious leader, but it was a pro wrestling match. That's what that was.
And they're smooth enough together because they wrestled each other countless times because they're in the dojo together and they're good mates. But also simultaneously, crowd didn't give a shit. And therein lies the problem. For a cup, for the rights, as you said in the Discord as well, to wrestle the force ghost of John Moxley.
But can I say, JP, we mentioned briefly the spot before with Chris Jericho with the screwdriver. And
yes,
it was Chris Jericho versus Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship, JP, which, you know, just before we went to air here, mate, I've made a few notes. David Meltzer, the great Dave Meltzer, give that 4.25 stars, JP. 4.25 stars, right? Which, no, I've done a quick. I was on my pre-show, on the toilet, JP. Sorry to be as blunt as ever, but I thought I've got a couple of minutes. I'll just type WrestleMania matches that have happened that are 4 stars and over. So that match, Chris Jericho versus the Jet, Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship, 4.25 was the same star rating. Now, I'm not big on this match, but I know people are. Was the same star rating as Chris Jericho's match versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 19, right? No, it gets better. It's also the same star rating as the Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Savage in an all-time retirement match. And it's a 1/4 star better than Edge versus Mick Foley in a hardcore match at WrestleMania. And that's on a quick search, JP. I dread to think what else was in there. It's gone. The game's gone. Shut up shop. We move on.
It's hard to argue with that, mate. It really, because this was fucking hell. It is comparing old money to new money.
Andy, I don't know. Sorry, I don't think he is. Sorry, Andy. Old money to new money. No, no, in no way of shape or form. What can he say is better about that than any of them? What's he basing it on? Because it was quicker. Is that all he's doing at this point? And it can't because Chris Jericho was in there. He looks terrible, Jake. I haven't seen him. He looks terrible now. And that's not, and listen, disclaimers all over the place, but he's old, isn't he? It's a fact that he just looks old now. He hung on for a bit. He could get away with it. He looks old, tired. His dry hair now makes him look even older. Doing Jericho fucking law where he Big Show as if, like, honestly, he needs to go. Like, I can't believe it, JP. But the match wasn't great for me. It wasn't good at all, really. I know Kevin Knight, listen, I'm always good to see him, but no, it was no good at all.
He has just become like, see, even the Ciampa stuff I didn't necessarily mind as much. The kind of, obviously, the botch stuff towards the end with, like, Don Callis came in too early. I think he wasn't meant to come in on that one. It was meant to be a case where Kevin Knight was going to force him back between the ropes.
And to be fair to Jericho,
through the ropes, which
to be fair to Jericho, JP, he's always been a guy who's called the spots. You could always hear Jericho calling it. He had a right to hear, though, in a way as well, didn't he? But he's always done it when he didn't have a right to. So that's just him, and it just added to it, yeah. But JP, they were out of position on the backslide. The backslide, like, they didn't even get in position for that. There's just something off, and put it 4-2-5. And I know we shouldn't put stock into the star ratings, but it bugs me every time I see it. I shouldn't read it anymore.
It's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I don't know if I'd go to 3, if I'm honest with you. I think there's so much, like, obviously the finish for it. It's not like it was fucking great up to that point either.
No, it wasn't.
It was a match that was taking place in front of my eyes.
And it's not Chris Jericho putting Kevin Knight over, is it? Because he needed to be stabbed in the head with a screwdriver. It's just all the bollocks. And it's like, is Jericho going to be, like, he's going to get a big featured bit at Wembley. I'm sure he's going to be one of the featured guys in the casino. He's got to be in the casino.
No way. He should be having a singles match on there as well. He'll have the biggest entrance. It'll be a live Fozzy entrance. He'll do that stuff in there as well. He'll sing down to the ring. It'll be like another, like, kind of first. It'll be that type of stuff that we're going to be getting there as well. But it's what did you make of the Mercedes Moné attacking Willow Nightingale bit? I've not been too mad about the build for this, and I won't lie, I kind of miss Tekla. I wonder where she is in this. I'd sooner it now was a 3-way. You had the 3 of them in there.
But JP, that's where, like, that's what it was, wasn't it? The angle, but
the angle,
I think it was more to the point of the match itself. This is where I will hold my hands up, and because I haven't watched the thing, they have got history though, haven't they? They've got history together where, like, she beat her, didn't she, for the championship, or like the injury. I remember she got injured. I think it was in AEW, or was it that in Mexico? New Japan, sorry. So they've got kind of history where I did unfortunately have to listen to Mercedes tell me this at some point a couple of weeks back, but it did make sense from that regard. That was the first time in a while I thought, you know what, you're actually making a bit of sense here, Monet, and she had a bit of legit with her and a bit of beef with her. That's all fine, GP. But once again, you're announcing these matches so early. You've got weeks to fill in now they're within line the lack of creativity. This was okay, JP. This was all right.
Yeah.
But another 2 weeks to fill. You know what I mean? So,
well, speaking of,
I can't comment on the Tekla stuff as well because I didn't really see enough of it. But I know the AEW fans and hardcores liked it. So that is but I said at the time, didn't I? I think I compared it to, you know, the old Bill Goldberg, Fiend, Sami Zayn, CM Punk stuff, where it's business, brother, and you've just got to get the story in, and you've done your little run for a bit, and you've got to be left off, which is shite.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what happens in the business.
I expect she'd be challenging whoever wins.
Yeah,
as it should be. That would be the thing that makes sense for that as well.
And I was going to say, JP, I was going to say, well, they haven't got that as a 3-way because they've got the 3-way for Fletcher's belt, but then I go, it's AEW. They don't give a shit. They have like 20 gimmick matches on the same show. They have gauntlets on the same show. Why should they give a shit about that? Which I don't know.
I don't think we're doing a 3-way for that. Maybe they'll be doing this for the women's TBS belt, because we had Chris Statlander defeating Viva Van and a Mick Foley doing an in-ring interview in there. Then was interrupted with Persephone and Hikaru Shida, who lost to Maya World and Thunder Rosa. So 7 people. I 6 people involved in that whole segment for reasons.
Speaking over you, JP, there, but it's like, why is he designated to the women, Foley? It seems like at the minute as well. It's like,
I don't know. You makes you wonder. You have to ask some questions for this, but once again,
JP, it's people on TV. There's never less than When's the last time one-on-one is just on telly? That's why Ospreay and Omega was good the other week. You could focus on two people talking. And then you've got people like lemmings running in the background, like Pac-Man, just round the ring, JP. What's going on? It's bizarre. It's a bizarre watch sometimes to me.
And sometimes it's very Russo-esque that you slide one into another, and then you go on. And that's the way that, you know what I mean? Like one angle, one match automatically rolls into it. It's like, you can do that. I mean, sometimes that feels like a Paul Thomas Anderson tracking shot where you just try to get everybody in like it's Boogie Nights or Magnolia or something like that. But it's not really being shot that way.
Isn't that one where it's one shot in
Birdman?
Yeah.
It's a probably a good Birdman, but
I like it. I like it.
Fucking awesome. But I'm not a fan of this entire division because I'm not really convinced by Maya World. I think Thunder Rosa feels like she's able to just sort of go through motions basically, and
but where is everyone? That's what I mean.
There's a CMLL's aspect to it, which is almost like part of this as well. Trying to integrate Persephone, but also have Thunder Rosa at CMLL, which is fine. I don't mind. It's like, well, whatever. They're getting they should be doing those kind of things. They're the things they should be doing, but it's hard to care.
But Tekla JP is one that was a new wrestler in the women's division that he went with and got over, and the hardcore like that. So this is what I'm saying about it's business, brother, because she's been shoehorned out where that was actually one that worked. Do you know what I mean? That was one that worked because like Storm's out, didn't she? Mariah May's obviously gone. Britt Baker's nowhere to be seen anymore. So you've got to go with these newer ones. You had to by force go with someone, and they did, to be fair. And then she's been left out of this big match, where she's carried it for months. That's it. It's business for you. But what about triple threat, JP, with Fletcher, Okada, and Takeshita? What do you reckon on that?
Well, I don't know why Takeshita's in it. Takeshita in the Casino Gauntlet, fine. As a bit of a spoiler to throw into the mix, I wouldn't mind that. I'd like to see that go a lot shorter than what it did last year. I don't want to see loads of lads sat on their ass on the outside of the ring. But the match itself should be Fletcher versus Okada. That feels like the one that's being built to. The crowd feel like they're ready to turn Okada. This feels like it would be a big moment to do that. And it's a fresh match. It's like this is really the IC belt. It's the proper workers belt of all of those other ones, as opposed to the TNT title is like an under 30s title, giving that to Kevin Knight. And the national title is one that seems to just defend it on indies. And the Continental one is just John.
It's the Moxley belt. He just wants a belt.
It's a Moxley belt. He wants a belt. So he's got one there as well. And I'll fancy a cup as well. It's like, all right. Channeling his Liverpool out of 86 thing there as well. But as a three-way, I'm like, no. And again, you might say we could leave that then for All Out. But Takeshita's been in Japan in the G1. He's not really been playing a part of this. So having Fletcher against Okada and then maybe Takeshita coming out and maybe you do the three-way then when you do that in Chicago might have been the way to go. But the bigger match is definitely Fletcher versus Okada. It would have felt like a big match as well. And it would, because I imagine Okada was going to get a massive, like the other times he's appeared at Wembley, a massive face reaction because it's Okada. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of that in the way that this is a very placeholder show. Maybe they're saving a lot of this stuff for when they're in Glasgow and they do the Dynamite and Collision tapings for that. You've got the Cup competition there as well. You've got Collision. I think that's it for Dynamite. JP. Have you got anything else you want to add before I get into Collision?
No. Collision, I can't wait to talk about that.
Well, you tell us about Collision, mate. Go on,
the overall thought, like I said before on Dynamite, I was shocked, laughed my head off at the graphic for Mox and Jack Perry, but did genuinely enjoy that. The MJF stuff was fine. The Swerve thing was a bit of a letdown, the return. Ospreay and Omega peaked too early for me, so they're trying stuff with that. As you say, Jay, bit uninspired, bit of lack of creativity, bit of ticking boxes. You're going to get them shows when you announce stuff so far out from your big pay-per-view. So I'm sure they'll ramp it up the next 2 weeks, and especially on the go home. So maybe it can be just forgiven and forgotten, and we move on. So maybe that's what the CP.
Well, it'll be forgotten the minute you decide to start telling us about Collision. It will be leaving both of our heads at that point in time.
This is glorious stuff, this, right? So in the last 3 remaining first round matches of the Continental Challenge Cup, the Triple C, JP, we've got Nigel McGuinness versus Shibata. Which, you know what, fair play. If this is Nigel's like swan song, someone's added El Clon on the dock. Because he's got to be there somewhere. But Nigel,
the general manager's been doing that, hasn't he?
Mike Adamley, that's what general manager's been doing. That's what Benno is. Nigel McGuinness faces Shibata in a match. We've got Brian Cage versus Ejuseno in Don Callis versus Don Callis family law already. We've got that. But this is the tip of the iceberg, this one, JP. This is the icing on the cake. If you love professional wrestling, if you love your matches with a Z, your pro wrestling matches, you want to star rate this one, you want your law. Roderick Strong, or good old Roddy, versus Kyle O'Reilly. Who wants to see it, JP? Oh no! I'd rather El Clon,
mate. It's going to main event.
I know it is. 20 minutes of wrestling. Who cares? Oh my god! It's
20 minutes of wrestling.
It's gold. It's golden, JP. Because honestly, I can't. Honestly, we all like what we like, JP, and maybe I'm over egging in a bit, but I'm not at the same time. I'm not. I'm really not. It's like we all like what we like, but I'd love to sit down with someone and them to explain why they're excited about this match. I can't see it. I know it's a tournament match and we're ticking boxes and it's two wrestlers, but come on, who wants to see that match?
I don't doubt it'll be decent, but
that's fine, Simon. That's what I mean. Jesus Christ.
And even because it's conglomeration versus conglomeration, hey, it's the magic of the cup, isn't it? Yeah. This is what happens to these draws. You get on air. But it's not AFC Wimbledon versus MK Dons, is it? Like, it's not that kind of thing. Simon says here, what's wrong with watching professional wrestling on a professional wrestling show? It's just that I look at this and I think none of these lads are winning the tournament, winning the cup. They're not even really close to it.
JP, it's meant to be listen, and this isn't me saying wrestling's fake. This in kayfabe, this is meant to be a fake draw. So why couldn't they have another match you haven't seen before? Who wants to see this again? Why couldn't you have Roderick Strong versus Nigel? Why do you have fucking Ejuseno v Kyle O'Reilly and a fucking, fucking grub fest on the floor? What are we doing? It's in kayfabe. It's a fucking fix. Sorry, it's like a random draw. Jesus Christ. But anyway, move on. I can't take it. Well,
there's the other TV ones in there as well. I'll do Impact for you. If you do Ring of Honor Global Wars.
Yes, I'll do it, JP. On Ring of Honor Global Wars, we've got for the TNT title, he's getting about the place. Kevin Knight defending against the Titan. Or is it Titan? Titan, afford that. For the Ring of Honor Television Championship, I'm fully behind El Clon now. You know when wrestlers get worse, JP, and without doing anything, they get better? Do you know what I mean? El Clon, I'm fully behind them winning the World Television Championship of fucking Leo Rush. Fondling on the match, that's what I was looking for in me rage there, you, and thank you very much. I'm fully behind El Clon to beat Leo Rush and capture the television title. We've got Thunder Rosa, Maya Wilde and Hyan versus Marina Shafir, Sky Blue and Shida in a 6-women's match. We've got Enlightening Rules, JP. We've got Commander versus Soberano as well. And I don't know if El Clon's doing double duty or someone's put him on there. We've got El Clon against Mascara Dorada. I don't know if that's tape for the week after or what. I don't know if Benno's up to no good, but El Clon, mate, all is forgiven.
It is. It's El Clon's world. I will say this. He's better than the actual lad who was meant to be. What was his fucking name? The gimmicked up wrestler they brought in for him to be
just Clon
feuding with.
I think it was really. I don't know. Clon? I think so. I don't know, JP. I
can't tell you now. Yeah. Do you remember? He feels like a weird, distant dream. The
hologram. Hologram. Yeah.
Remember him? Like honestly, he's become like. Honestly, you could just put in the Ian Wright gif right now. At that point, it'd just be like when he appears on telly there as well. Not very exciting.
No, that's Collision. No, not very exciting. And Ring of Honor looks more exciting. It does. But can I talk about Impact, the JP? I know it's your
no, you go for it, mate.
No, I've been actually watching, your algorithm, things. I've actually been getting into this Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater feud, JP, genuinely. Okay. And it's all about, everyone hated it when Alexander defeated Slater, didn't he? And he couldn't break the X Division record. And he's obsessed with it. Cedric, like that's what I've been liking about it. They had a sit down, JP, in the locker room where Cedric was getting interviewed and Slater come in, and then he was both talking to each other. Like, and that even for me, JP, that's where I've got to separate myself now. Of like, you know, not everyone's American on the mic, not everyone's great on the mic. People are trying to be not like Leon come in and they're just having a normal conversation, JP, and it was refreshing. It was, and he was like, you know, you don't deserve like to be the champ. You keep ducking me, etc. You've got to fight me, and Cedric's like, no, I don't have to, and all that typical heel championship. But he's obsessed with them, and apparently I've seen a bit of it where. I don't want to talk spoilers, JP, really, but what they do on Impact makes sense of like they're going into the match at Lockdown. I'm sure. Sorry, you and with the knee even spoiling your ear, mate, but they're going into a match now where I think if Cedric wins, I like this, a bit of creativity. People might say this is a bit shit, but I like it because it's something a bit different. That the actual records of him he's that obsessed. The actual record of him is getting erased from history. I love that though. He's that obsessed that you would go to them lengths to give it. And Leon's been brilliant. I think he's been, once again, learning on the job on the mic, JP, but he looks the part now. You can tell he's wearing better gear. He's got that contract money. Good on him.
He's a fascinating one to look at because I think the general, obviously conventional wisdom was for a long time, he's going to WWE, we're just killing time until he goes there. Then a lot of scuttlebutt was, well, is he actually going to do this? Or AEW are interested there as well. I would say that it can't hurt them. It would really help their footprint over here if they can get themselves in someone like Leon Slater there as well. And have a Leon Slater Will Ospreay match in the UK. If you can get round to that, that could be something. It also feels like a storyline that Triple H would have absolutely loved to have used this to like people lose their title reigns from history as he goes around and beats every former champion. Just so like each of those goes, even gets Pedro Morales out, even just decides to pin Bruno in his grave. Stuff like that. He would have done that stuff, and it just it turns out I've got every record there under the sun. Not the only thing that happens there on Impact. Do you want me to go through the rest of the happenings on there as well? They're most of the ones that you've already seen.
I mean, I've just seen that El Clon's getting about the Tennessee JP. But if you want to just break down some of the matches, we don't have to give everything away, JP. We can just give the big matches.
Ricky Sosa defeated Brian Myers. In there, Rich Swann and the BDE said they will reveal their mystery partner soon. Elijah interrupted AJ Francis at the recording studio. Moose comes out dressed as Frankie Kazarian. I want to see this. For the face of the franchise's speech, he asks people a question and the answer is always Moose. And then Kazarian interrupts and they have a scrap, unsurprisingly, there. BDE, Rich Swann and Trey Miguel defeat Order 4. And then Jason Hotch ran down when Ali had ordered Zero to attack Trey Miguel after the match. Zia Brookside and Elena Black were having a brawl after she was doing her makeup, which feels like the most stereotypical angle in the world. Knockouts Television Championship Tournament semi, M by Elegance defeated Indy Hartwell. Has to be considered an upset. Harley Hudson vignette. You'll be happy. Good to see a local girl doing well. Casey Navarro defeated Eddie Edwards. Santino announced that the System versus Casey Navarro, Ricky Sosa, Fabian Aichner, and Jada Stone in a lethal lockdown match. That's a proper match. At Lockdown, Ali walks into a bathroom to see the message, the struggle is real on the mirror, and in what has to be considered the shock and completely throws out all evidence of wrestling booking logic, El Clon defeated Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Championship as well. I think this title of the show is just going to be El Clon. It's just going to be Clon or Clon.
He's cloned into being Nick Nemeth, JP, now, hasn't he? He's that good, mate. He can. He's like the T1000, and he can just clone into whoever he wants to be and just take over. That's what can happen. Spoiler, and the way I've done it for time there on a Sunday. So,
yeah. Have indeed. Tell us about MLP Mayhem, Matty.
Yeah, we've got Rhino defeating Bryce Hansen, JP. We've got Mascara Dorada and Captain Suicida defeated the Grizzled Young Veterans, JP, and Mo Gibrani and El Reverso. That's a great name, El Reverso. That's brilliant. We've got Adam Copeland having a promo speaking about, his return to Canada, JP, and wrestling at the Maple Leaf Gardens and praising Tony Khan for letting him wrestle. Once again, I stick the boot on his creativity, but And whether they agree with it or not, letting his wrestlers wrestle everywhere, you know, he lets his wrestlers do stuff that they want to do. And in that personal regard, you can only hold your hands up for that one, JP. And once again, JP, he's doing the rounds. He's cloned himself again. He's El Canada Clon. It's El Clon defeated Raja Rohan to capture the PWA Champions Grail, JP. He's a belt collector.
He is indeed. And this time he's the role of Stu Grayson. For this one, and it was apparently a very good match in there as well. I mean, the El Clon versus the world for this, isn't it? Who are we to doubt El Clon? I would just say on MLP, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't manage to see all of the episode for it. I did see the bit with what do you call him? With Adam Copeland, and again, it sold out the building. Like, it's the kind of stuff they should be doing. And D'Amour's clever. What it doesn't really have at the minute, this would be my thing, is it doesn't have a very Canadian identity. And you want them to have that. Like, I get some of the people that they're bringing in, and there's people from AEW as well. It's very much Stu Grayson versus...
I love time with the El
Clon line. Again, that has to be the title. Because it's a series of El Clons, which really is literally his name. What he's doing to himself there makes complete sense. But as a promotion, it feels like they're doing the very basics like well at the moment. And you kind of want them to succeed. And as long as they don't go absolutely batshit, but it's about finding out like what there should be people going on loan from AEW for like 6 months up to there. Getting involved in a load of storylines, seeing what happens, and seeing if you can get some juice out of it.
I mean, it's not as if they haven't got any wrestlers they can afford to go away for the
that's it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like a Nick Wayne. I know he'd be featured this week, but let him go off for a bit. Let him get his reps in. Let him and then come back.
My prediction is he's winning the Ring of Honor World Belt. He's going to be defeating Bandido for the title. And I'll just give him the telly show. Just say, see if he's any good.
Yep.
See if he's any good. Stick him on top. No one cares at this point. It doesn't matter. And it would free Bandido up to not have this title out that he never
to lose to John Moxley.
To lose to John Moxley. Exactly. We also had JCW Lunacy. I'll go through this one on episode 95. A fallout and the build up for Gore Games at Bloody Mania 19 in there.
Listen, JP, sorry, can I just before you start? I know it's a sham of a promotion, but Gore Games is a great name. That is a great name. That is good.
And it works for them. It works. The Clowns are canny like that, or is that a Russo thing? It'd be one of the two. We had EC3 and Cruel, their match ending in Bedlam as the Luciano family and the JWO collide, resulting. That's the match for Gore Games they're doing with Donovan Dijak as the mysterious fifth member of the Luciano family. And do you know who comes out with Donovan Dijak now?
It's Jasmine St. Clair, isn't it?
Jasmine St. Clair, who's pregnant with Mr. Happy's baby in there. Josh Bishop defeats Facade. I think we'll always have a soft spot.
Always. You will. I love JP. Great.
No, I didn't know where he was, and he's just all over the place now. Brilliant. Defeating via count out, old school that, to retain the World Heavyweight title. Chopper City retained the tag titles against James Storm and Cocaine. That's not a euphemism for James Storm having personal issues. It's the wrestler, obviously, Cocaine. After the outbreak, which I think are the two zombie lads who were surprisingly good when you saw them.
Workers, JP. Well, Cocaine was
workers. El Clon defeated El Clon. In this one, in a match that nearly went 8 hours as well, so which is overkill, even for juggalos. That feels like overkill there. Maybe they just played all of the Insane Clown Posse's tunes to it. Like
I think that's John Moxley's last 7 match times. 7 hours.
Kerry Morton defeated Mr. Happy. And then Barnabas the Bizarre struggles to maintain control over the outbreak as they remain fixated on Danny Moe. And obviously, we've got Bloody Mania 19 next week, live on Triller TV.
You've got to watch that.
Is still a thing.
You've got to watch that, please.
Whether I pay for it, that's a different question. A very different question in there as well. So that's JCW. On AAA on Fox, we've got no match announcements, but one thing we do know is that El Clon will be appearing, so he's going to be on there What's going to be happening on SmackDown, Matty?
SmackDown, JP, we've got a triple threat match for the tag team titles. Like, even I can't defend this one, JP. We've got Damian Priest and R-Truth, who for some reason are still the tag team champions. Like, give it to anybody else, JP. Even if it's two unknowns, give them to anyone else. Taking on the War Raiders, taking on the MFTs with Haku now, JP. So I think they've been refreshed. Hopefully they get the belts and we can move on and just pretend R-Truth and Damian Priest didn't happen. We've got for the Women's United States Championship, Tiffany Stratton defending against JC Jane, which could be a title change, JP. Obviously, Fallon and Laney have won the tag belt, so can JC get a singles title now? So at least it's got a bit of something to it. Should be all right as well.
Tiffany doesn't need the US title, does she?
No, doesn't need any title, JP. She's Tiffany Stratton. There you go. So I'll look forward to that one. Genuinely do. And then in the main
from SGT Slaughter,
SGT Slaughter. And in the main event, she said, "Oh, is she doing well?"
Bobby Remus.
Yeah. But JP, in the main event, and I don't know if news has been broken before about Chris Jericho. We've had someone leaving AEW and signed for the WWE. We've got in the main event for the United States Championship, we've got Baron Corbin defending his title against Carmelo Hayes and added in at the last minute. Would you believe it, JP? It's Clon. So, he's on that belt collector run there. I think he's going to be the new United States champion by the end of the night, JP. So we'll see about that one, mate.
Yeah, it is. I feel like we need to put Clon. Maybe he should have been challenging for the GHC heavyweight title as well, and he might turn up in another big show this weekend in there. But yeah, you got to bet on Clon there as well. No chance of Barry losing that belt. You reckon?
No, not this soon,
at this point.
Yeah, a bit too soon. And yeah, I mean, I think I said that on my SummerSlam thing. It's a Paul special. This one, it's bringing someone back, but like I said, he's great. Triple H he's good at the chase, JP. Once people are champions, it's like he gets brain stuck and he doesn't know what to do. His brain freezes. And it's like, why has he lost to Baron Corbin on paper? Anyone else, like even Carmelo, he got built initially. I know they've been on TV. Keep repeating myself, but even if you flip-flop the belt between them two and have a 6-month feud there, is better than what we're getting here. And listen, we all love Baz. We've all got a bit of thing for him. We have in the end, and he worked hard, but we don't want to see him back as a US champion featured in 2026 going into 2027.
Honestly, I would have crazy idea. I would have brought him back with Dijak and just made him the skyscrapers. I just would have done the whole MLW thing. A couple of big blokes going for a title.
Excellent piece to R-Truth. It is. It's
when in doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
When in doubt, it's like, what do we do with them? Two big fellas, put them together. Just honestly, God, I think there's so much to be said for that as well. So that's all the TV wrestling for this week, which does take us on to the weekend previews for these. So first of all, it's the big one. I know you've been following this massively. We've got the semi-finals set up for the New Japan G1 Grade 1 Climax, 36 days, 18 and 19. From Ryogoku Kokugikan in Tokyo. This is happening on Saturday and Sunday. First of all, we've got on the Saturday, and I'm not going to bother going through the undercard tags. I cannot be asked on there. We've got Hiroshi Tenzan retirement exhibition match. Easy for me to say. Satoshi Kojima versus Hiroshi Tenzan, which I don't know if you saw him. How familiar you are with Tenzan. He's like very much a guy like he needed to retire. I think this is going to be 5 minutes exhibition. He'll do his big moves. It'll be a draw. All of them will come out and hug him, and it'll be that type of stuff there. But it's happening here. He's like, he needs to retire, and he is quite wisely. So hopefully he gets himself a few quid for doing that. But it's really all about the two semi-finals, and we have for the semi-final number one, we've got Callum Newman versus Rohei Oiwa, who is really one of the shocks to come through. That might have been a role that would have been Shota Umino would have been suspected to be in that role. And in the other one, we have the IWGP champion Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura in the other semi-final there. So are you familiar with these lads?
No, I know only off yourself and people speaking about like Callum Newman and Tsuji there. But to me, JP, as someone who's completely disconnected and listening to people speak about it, that's refreshing. That to me, just off a cold look at a piece of paper, that's 4 names that I've never seen in the semi-finals before. And I don't know if they have or not, but to me, that's fresh. And even, that's what we were saying before about like, off air about football, about if you actually want to transition and start again, do that. You don't have someone clinging on 2 or 3 in there. Do it properly and work your way then. You know what I mean? Take the hit if it takes a year or not. And then these will be more familiar next year and the year after. I appreciate that. That's great stuff, JP. Genuinely, that is really to see.
I don't have an issue with this as a Final Four. The only one I would have perhaps put in there would have been Oleg Bolton. And I would have been fine with that being the case because he still was very close, narrowly sort of lost out, which is fine because there's a story you can tell in that as well. And it cemented him as like, you know, when he was asked to go 25 minutes against Yota Tsuji, had a really good match. And you kind of think that's all right. But
Yota Tsuji, is he the next one? Like, is he good?
Well, so it's almost like he's in the position, and this is the position they find themselves in, and this is entirely of their own making. He is the guy they've kind of had to go with because he's shown the most charisma out of all of the guys since they come back from excursion. And they never built anyone else in the meantime. So it's kind of all been thrust upon him. And is he there? No. Like, not as a character and not as a wrestler, but he's very good. I don't have an issue. It's like he's the safe pair of hands for the moment, and that's fine. Yu Yamura is the guy who kind of has, I think, he's got more of the sort of orthodox Tanahashi idol star looks about him, but he is a very good worker. I don't have an issue with Yu Yamura being there. I don't have an issue with Yu Yamura winning it, if I'm honest. And he would be the person I would go with. Because, again, you just got to go with people. Rohei Oiwa is the big spoiler. I'd love to see him make it to the final. Because I think New Japan Business does best when it is, if it's 2 younger Japanese guys, and then they battle for this, and it becomes that generational rivalry. He is like a hell of a stocky, like, worker, Oiwa, as well. He's got a real bit of sort of like grit about him. Callum Newman has done fine, but I don't think he doesn't need to win the G1. So I would go for myself to Oiwa versus Yamura. Yota Tsuji, I don't think will win that just because he's the champion. And in some ways, just go with Yu Yamura and spend the next few months after the G1. Don't have him cash it in too soon and go to the dome with the belt. But I would say, all right, it's going to be Yu Yamura kind of explains who he is because it kind of needs that. But it's good that they're doing this. And there's been stuff about the G1 attendances. It's better than last year, but weaker than 2024. A lot of the facts around G1s is it's about match quality, which it doesn't have at the moment. But I think it has gotten better, as in just because there is some young lads in there who are good and are kind of fresh faces and are going to get better. And a tournament like this is going to help. And that's what they've got to go with. And it might mean a few lean years, but ultimately think about what you want New Japan to be in 2028, 2029. And like you've said, the fact that it's quite refreshing seeing these 4, because conceivably there's 3 of the 4. I could see them putting it, see her having it as a winner. And that's what you want. I don't think it'll sell a lot of tickets. I don't think it'll be like a massively big deal, but do you know what? I think it'll do well enough. So an interesting one for that. And then obviously we've got the final, but there is a special match that's taking place. One that appears to have involved voodoo and cloning. El Clon versus Antonio Inoki, which they've said on here as well. Literal. Do
you know El Clon could wrestle, JP? A 2,400-year-old wrestler. That'd be a good one. You could clone as him as well. He'd go back in time. He can do whatever he wants, can't he?
Just comes back as an ancient Greek lad in a mask. old Johnny Tolos, when he was selling out that stadium in Greece, in Athens, wasn't he?
He was.
That's what he would have liked there as well. But yeah, so that's the G1. From what I've seen of it, if you picked and choose the best matches, there is good, decent work on here. And I think it's almost like a G1 that they have to have, but they probably need another 3 of these before they can get anywhere close to the level. And just go with the young lads and just trial and error at it. because New Japan is less about the kind of orthodox storylines or angles, and it's more about the characters and the character development. And if one of them doesn't work, they use that as their motivation for them being a heel. That's the kind of stuff that you'd have into the mix there as well. But yeah, there is a big card going on at Arena Mexico this weekend. Viernes Espectacular. The main event on here, I think people can guess what's going to be happening here. Best 2 out of 3 falls match: Averno versus Mystico versus Blitzkrieg 3. So El Hijo the Blitzkrieg Jr. versus El Clon. So he's in CONL there again. Star Jr. versus Zandakan Jr. Best 2 out of 3 falls. Dragon Rojo versus Barbaro Cannavario. Best 2 out of 3 falls there as well. Persephone and Reina Isis versus Johnny Robbie and Tessa Blanchard. So, and it's those connections. CML. She proves herself there. She'll be in AEW. Now that'll be a thing that happens. But we've also got GCW this weekend, Matty. Do you want to have a go at these ones?
We'll pick the cherry pick the matches, JP. We've got Nick Gage teaming with Nino Extremo and Sicko the Clown versus Dr. Redacted, Connor Claxton, Jimmy Lloyd. We've got Joey Janela versus Marco Stunt. Has that happened on a Dark or Elevation? Surely it happened a few years ago. And in the world title match with El Clon as special ringside enforcer, JP, we've got Atticus Cougar versus Joseph Sawyer for the coveted GCW title. Yeah, I mean, why are you still running shows, JP? Like GCW? Do you do like 1 or 2 a week? Though do you run weekly? This company?
Yeah. No, every weekend.
And they still want people to put squares out. That's what they want.
That's how much are these lads being paid in there as well? The fact they've got a tag team called the Savage Gnomes in there as well, which I don't know if they should come out to Savage Garden really, because if they're gnomes, that's where they'd be setting. But I'd be very surprised. What's your favourite Savage Garden tune? Well,
the obvious one's Truly Madly Deeply, but I'm a first single guy. I like I Want You. Ooh, I Want Chicka Cherry Cola. That one, I like that one. I think that was a good song. Yeah, I like that one. To the Moon and Back's good, or I Knew I Loved You Before it. What a lyric that is, JP. I knew I loved you before I met you, though. That's just how deep's that. Darren Hayes, one of the greatest songwriters of that generation. Fuck it now.
What's happening on day 2?
Day 2 of GCW, we've got a circus death match. El Clon's making his death match debut going against Lil Sicko and Nino Extremo, JP. It's wild out there. And we say mainstream wrestling's dead, JP. We should be lucky that we've got it, to be fair.
We have for this one on there as well. We've also got Capcom Creator Pro Wrestling from the Lynbrook Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. Some of these wrestlers on here. We've got the Headbangers, Just Joe and TK Wild versus Jackson Crow, Jay George, Liam Davis and Sebi Amor. Rhino versus Evil Kip. Tony Atlas with Chick Donovan versus Sydney Bacabella with Little Sydney Bacabella there as well. What's the other stuff? TJ Crawford versus Aaron Rourke for the number 1 contendership. Andre Chance, remember him? That's from NXT versus Bear Bronson. Oh, yeah. Couple of lads who've been released there. And then a tables, lettuce and chairs match there, which is actually kind of funny for that. Bobby Orlando versus Leo Sparrow with Steve Corino, Jack Victory, that weird British bloke, and El Clon. Who's the British bloke? Is this from Starcade 1990 or something? Oh no, it'll be the ECW in there as well.
What else is going on, JP? WXW, you've got a show. We'll skip through some of these. We've got, for the Ring of Honor World title getting defended all over the world, Bandido versus One Called Manders. We've got a shortcut to the top Royal Rumble 30-man match. Yeah. And we've got Daniel Garcia versus El Clon. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I actually don't know.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Daniel Garcia.
Versus El Clon, is that actually real?
No, that's not happening on there.
I thought it was.
Could have been sent over, actually. That's the thing with these. We just CMLL. If he's not turning up there, what the fuck are we not doing here, lads? He needs to be all over the place in there. Yeah, no, this is their Rumble show. And they're doing at the Turban Haller, a place you would love. Simply because you could get a Schalke in that weekend, meet up with Strigger.
Yeah,
that part, a big Schalke fan as well. Awesome fella. Maybe go and see Rottweiss Essen because I've seen Cologne. Loads of great
good beers,
teams.
JP, as well there.
Cracking beers, cracking football, mate. Yeah. You do it as a football weekender with WXW, you'd be like, get in. Bit of you, that.
Love it.
Berlin, Ahura versus Elijah Bloom as well for the Unified World Wrestling.
And what about finishing up, JP, on our shows? We bring it all around the world and back home to the lovely shores of the UK, where Red Pro have got Unfinished Business 2026 from Cardiff, Wales. We've got Bandido doing his is he doing the old Ric Flair fucking
He's in Europe.
Briscoe stuff, real world champion. Bandido versus Cameron Kai, Leon Cage versus Jay Joshua, and in a triple threat match that'll sell out any arena, anywhere, all over the world, because that's what we do here on Grapple. David Francisco versus TK Cooper versus the man, the myth, the legend, the man of the hour, the man with the power, L fucking Clon, JP. I mean, what a guy. What a show.
What a guy. What a show. And it just needs him on it as well.
It does.
So if he just clones himself on there as well. There is a couple of other matches that have been announced. They've got Leon Slater versus Kid Lycos 2 and Connor Mills and Kanji versus Michael Oku and Alexis Falcon. So the men's and women's champions teaming up again.
Booking. 101, but great booking, JP. Very, very good. Like that.
No issue for that as well. And this for me has been the year of Rev Pro trying to become like a proper UK promotion. And there's always going to be like, it's a bigger thing. And, but they're running Cardiff a lot more. They're running like Wolverhampton loads. They've announced Fantastica Mania there as well. Obviously, they're doing Wembley. They're still doing Southampton, doing Sheffield as well. Hopefully Manchester again pretty soon. Clon in Wales surely would be that's who they definitely need into there. Valhalla Rob Lynch up against that.
JP, he's going to be hosting Time on Sunday because I'm El Clon on Sunday now. That's all that can be happening, mate. We all are.
Three fellas in masks in silence watching that. But yeah, I'm hoping that Rev Pro for this is about them kind of like it's been a year of expansion, but probably not necessarily like the most inspiring per se, because it's still, I think I said this last time I was on the Weekender, there's how much talent is there to go around, really? And how many different things can you do with this talent that you're not seeing in other promotions as well? It's difficult to make that kind of standout, but Rev Pro are the ones who are going all over the place and trying to run all of these as well. And Attacker running Cardiff as well the day before Rev Pro. I haven't got the information on that show and who's in there, Ewan. And that's it. That takes us.
It's been a great JP. You know what? I've enjoyed myself a hell of a lot on this one.
Good.
Hopefully the listeners have too. Hopefully we've done justice to the Weekender, but that's what we get here, JP, on I'd say the new flagship show here on Grapple, which will be going out, won't it, on YouTube for free there as well. So we've got all that. We've covered the plugs, but we'll mention them again. JP, Time this Sunday, August 1991. Yep. Me, yourself, Gareth, and Liam will be here. Old school full set, JP will be delving into all things August 1991. Go check out Raw Roulette from May 1995 last weekend as well. We've got Platt's King of the Mountain coming up with it's a mixtape of himself and matches that he was at, and only using one promotion and one wrestler per match, so never repeating them. So that's a great concept, as I said before, but we can maybe use as a template going forward, JP. But other than that, for the shows coming up, what are you up to yourself the weekend, JP?
Well, outside of recording time with yourself, what am I going to be doing? I suspect there's going to be a trip to IKEA tomorrow, which could be like it could be busy, but it needs to be done. And because it's also close to Costco, I could see that being done as well. I am immediately after Time meant to be going to Oxford to watch wrestling this weekend, United Wrestling, which I feel like I should have done a preview for the show that I might actually be going to. And it's taking place in a pub that Andy's been to. Joe had his wedding there as well. And it's it's going to be taking place in a really sort of nice craft brewery there. They run there and they run in Reading as well. So I'm just having a look to see what they're running Silverstone as well pretty soon on there. Tickets from £11.55 here, which I can fucking argue, and they sell homemade pizza as well.
JP, dearer than you paid 6 tickets for all in, mate.
I know, scandalous, is it?
You
Like, where's my £1.50 ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, need a bit of that there as well. And it is, yeah, it's so like looking forward to potentially watching that. I'm still hoping I'm going to be able to do that in the meantime. And that's what I'm up to. What about yourself?
Well, we had an IKEA delivery last weekend, JP, so that's been put up, but it's the transferring the stuff from the old units into the new units and trying to get rid of the old units as well, and still be sorting the house out after we got the new kitchen. So we're working on a room at a time, but it just gives me a chance to have a look at all my memorabilia, JP, and have a look at what I've got. And I need to start making a list, mate, and document what I've got, because I can't remember what I've got at this point. So I need to give myself an L.
It'll become like Jim Cornette's attic in Dark Side of the Ring.
This is like what I know. It's the stuff that's away that I can't. But I need to get myself an Clon figure at this point, mate. So we'll be
not enough time.
No, there isn't. But other than that, just having a chilled one this weekend, mate. And what's this? The government.
Oh,
but yeah,
I've got this as well. Actually, right. There is a severe alert that's come through. All right, calm down. Very high risk of wildfires nationally. Residents, owners, landowners, and visitors should not undertake any activity that could start a fire, including disposable barbecues. That's why he's kicked off about that, I imagine. Fire pits, garden incinerators, or fireworks. Am I allowed to still get a Chinese later on? Because I was like really looking. I'm not eating all day.
You don't get
banjo, mate.
You don't get them often, though, do you? I thought something like was fucking yeah.
Aliens, mate. That's what I'm waiting. It's just like, all right, invasion attack, is it? And it all goes Mars attacks there as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't plan on setting fire to anything this weekend. No. I mean, it would have been nice to have a barbecue, but I don't want to do that and kill everyone on my street if I can get away with it on there as well. Ewan is saying here he's seeing end of Oak Street tomorrow, back to Sheffield for work on Sunday. Simon is heading up to the Fringe in Edinburgh next week. Always interesting, always a wrestling related show normally on there as well. Andy's off to Weymouth for a long weekend in there. And then it was, we all got this. Simon says here, though, breaking news, high risk of Clon matches this weekend. There is. Clon's coming. That's what it just says, and people think it's some sort of weather alert. And in fact, what ends up happening later on, you just get a picture of Clon appear on the phone there as well. There.
I think it's been a fun show, mate. And I say, hope the listeners, everyone's been all right with that, mate. But there you go. There you go, mate.
Indeed. So yeah, there we are. Let's say we've already done all the plugs and everything.
I will say, because I always want to especially say this bit. I know Ben usually says, but I'll say that this is always supported by our patrons and YouTube members, with special thanks, of course, to our Patreon kings and queen of the mountain: Conor O'Loughlin, Eddie Sideburns, Chris Platt, Carl Gach, Sophia Hitchcock, Simon Mulvaney, Marty Ellis, and of course Dylan Shah. And with that said, JP, have a great weekend. I hope everyone does. I hope everyone enjoys a lot of Clon. And we will see you again, JP, on the next one, my friend.
Clon!
Clon for Clon.
See ya!